Hey guys, we're out here today on the set of the movie Pop-Up. It's a feature film being shot out here in Newcastle today. We've been invited along to help out with the audio. So we're going to be doing a bunch of tutorials so you'll be able to hear what road mics sound like in a real situation once the feature film is actually released. So we've just been shooting a couple of scenes using the blimp and the NTG3, and we'll be able to post some clips so you can check it out. So for one of the main character, Wesley's vocal take, we just set up the lav within his collar using Road Rec and the lav with the mic on 11 cable. So this kind of really comes in handy running Road Rec on a shoot like this, because without having to run wireless kind of setups, we've got a slate running today, so we've got a clear, nice and sharp clap so that we'll be able to sync up the footage later on, even without programs like Pluralize that'll do it for you. So today we've run a track. It was about 32 minutes. We didn't have to worry about, extra batteries for a receiver and a transmitter with a wireless kit. We just ran the lav straight into this iPhone 4S we've got here, directly into Road Rec. And if I'd like, I can actually trim and mark out all the different takes that we had and mark out which is the best take with a region within Road Rec before we're even finished at the shoot today. Alright, so for this shot, you've got quite a tight frame and it's moving forward. Want to get the mic nice and close because it's a phone call, we'll be speaking pretty quietly. So what I've done is I've just checked my frame line, and then I look in the distance at a kind of distant marker or object, and that's where I place the very tip of the mic, just so that I know I'm not going to go into frame. So for here I've got like a little mark on the tree up there, a little leaf kind of stuck to the tree, and I'm looking in the distance past the actual blimp itself, just to make sure that I'm not going to dip into frame, and then I know that I'm totally safe for the whole shot.
Edith, it's Wesley. I just called to say sorry for everything. But as usual, you're not answering, so I guess this is farewell.
So just for continuity, we're essentially whiting background again. In this case we're taking a Daylight 1000, which is equivalent of 1K light, and just throwing a bit of light just to shape the background a bit, so that sort of ties in with the earlier shots that we did today. So little things like that go a long way when you actually trying to just create that continuum that will match the other shots as well. So there you go, Brunel.
So on the last shot, which I think was the best take that we're going to use, I actually come directly over from above with the boom extended all the way so I could get far enough away not to get some glass. But by having such a loud sound, we were able to turn the gain right down on the pre, also cutting out a lot of the background noise that we've got around here, because it's such a loud sound, and getting it out in nice and close. We've got like a primo sound effect that we'll be able to use on basically any other, as a sound effect on any film from now.
Very happy with that. Have a listen to that.
I just thought I'd share with you a couple of tips about slating. Firstly, with setting up the slate, a lot of times people will just write out the slate with their dry erase marker, but something you can do to make things a bit easier for yourself is all of the things that are going to be permanent throughout the day you can do in tape, like I've done here. Okay? And things like the date here, we can easily just take these off and replace them as the day rolls over. Really, the shot and the take numbers are the only things that are going to be regularly changing throughout the day. So that's the only thing that I've got here that's just in dry erase. Another thing that I do is, rather than putting marks with pen over the things like moss and sync, I've just got these little tabs, and I can just put them over the top and block out those things. On the back, I've got a couple of extra tabs here that I can use if I lose them. As well, I've got my whiteboard marker gaffed to the back of the slate, so that it's always there when I need it. And on the back of the whiteboard marker is a little bit of chamois that I can use to wipe off. Another thing I do is just to make sure that I can remember which take we're up to. I've got a bit of a system that I use. So for example, take one, I'll write take one, and I'll put a spot next to it. When we're about to roll, I'll wipe that spot off, okay, and that means that where we're about to go, after I slate, I strike the number, and that means I'm ready to go. On the next take, I'll write 2, put a spot next to it. As we're about to roll, I'll strike the spot. After I've slated, I'll strike the number. That way, I always know where I'm at with my slating procedures.
Hey guys, I just thought I'd run quickly through the actual audio rig that I'm using today. So firstly, I've got the blimp because it's pretty windy outdoors. Anytime you've got a lot of high wind, you definitely want to get something like a blimp with a furry on the outside just to keep still air around the microphone. We're running the NTG3 with the Rode boom pole here. I accidentally left my boom pole clips at home, so I've had to improvise with some gaffer tape. So always make sure gaffer tape is part of your kit. It's probably the most universal tool that you've got as a sound guy. I'm running into a think tank photo bag here. I've strapped it over my shoulder just to take a bit of the weight, and then it goes kind of around the waist here. Recording audio with the Korg MR1000 1-bit recorder. It's got really nice pre's and it enables me to actually export all the way up to 192K if I want. Not that I often use 192K, usually up to 48K is fine for any of my audio exports. I've got a couple of spare NT5s here just in case I need to do some indoor dialogue. Also I've got some furries in the kit, the WS8 which is a windshield for the NT5 in case we do anything outdoors where there's a lot of reverberant kind of sound. And then of course I've got my all-important Saxby's ginger beer sitting in the back of the case here just in case I need to quench my thirst. So that's my audio kit for the day, guys.